Hola, bom dia. Carl Munson of the Good Morning Portugal podcast. And by some quirk of fate, I have ended up in the Mercado de Alvalade. And I'm reminded of my love of Portuguese markets. You can hear if I stop talking for a minute, you'll hear the buzz in the background. And now I'm going to have a little walk about. I'm going to chuck in some vocabulary. This is a great place to come, to tick all the boxes of language, vocabulary, Portuguese culture, Portuguese adventure, Portuguese lifestyle. This to me is just, one great place to come. Head for a Portuguese market all over the country. I'm in Lisbon this morning, and this is an especially great market I've never been to before. But to my shame, I found it because I was looking for Lidls. It's all about convenience, isn't it? Parking up and going and get your stuff in the continental Lidl supermarket, which is pretty good, and they're all over Portugal as well. But to get there, I have found myself walking through the Mercado de Alvalade, and there's a talo. This is not suitable, this first 30 seconds for vegans. Talo is a butcher, T-A-L-H-O. Frango, chicken. Frango, this culture is very Frango-centric with the churrasqueira chicken barbecues. I'm confronted by beautiful wet fish displays as well. There is a children's playground with one of those padded cages for children. Other than that, undersells it a little bit, doesn't it? But unless, you like to put your children in a padded cell while you wander around the market. But it's one of those sort of mesh wacky warehouse things with padded corners, very thoughtful, looks very clean and tidy, and a fantastic little place to sit and have a coffee. So you got all your food shops, your veg stalls, beautiful display in front of me here, cheese and dairy, fish and meat, everything you'd expect from a market. And then on the periphery, some clothes stores. A tweeting bird in the roof as well. Nice bit of what it looks like, 60s or 70s brutalist architecture as well. It's not an attractive hanger of a building, but it has its own sort of charm, of course, as these markets often do. Not especially busy. And is that a worry? That people are going to Lidl just like me this morning rather than using the market. And like I said, they're all over the country here. You could do a tour of markets, beautiful markets. One comes to mind is in the Algarve, where our dentist is based. That's a whole other story. But and I forget what the blooming town's called. If I remember, I'll stick that in the notes afterwards. But down south, up north, markets are fantastic. And I'll just be quiet so you can hear a little bit more of the atmosphere again. Yeah, a little word there, limpa, which in the sense of a fishmonger means filleted or cleaned, I think, limpa. Linguados, pescadinha, little fish that'll be, presumably. Carapau, that's mackerel, isn't it? Petinga are the little sardines, I think, they get fried whole. Great cafes around the periphery of the market as well. And a total shock horror for vegans and vegetarians. These sort of display cases at the Talo, the T-A-L-H-O butchers, of the refrigerator is like some sort of weird Damien Hirst installation of hanging limbs of animals, illuminated and refrigerated to draw in the meat eater off the street. Found my access into Lidl's now, and I feel even worse about going in there this morning. But, needs must and all that. And I commit to being balanced and shopping at the market whenever I can. So just leave you with a little bit more atmosphere and a bit of a virtual wander around the market. Carl Munson signing off. Até breve.